In short, Rent has completed his quest to hunt down his 3 orcs, and Sheila is surprised by Rent's achievement of becoming the lowest ranked adventurer. Sheila is even impressed by Rent for neatly arranging the orc meat and packaging it. Then Sheila brings an invitation letter to Rent so he can take the ranking up exam held by the Adventurer Guild. Sheila has discussed this with her superiors, stating that Rent has the ability to participate in the ranking up exam. The adventurers there are surprised and curious about Rent. They have never seen Rent in the city of Malt, and suddenly he has the right to take the ranking up exam. Rent then returned home and informs Lorraine about the ranking up exam. Lorraine is not too surprised because this is normal for Rent, who has been an adventurer for years. Rent says he can be so strong now thanks to his new body. Then Lorraine is curious about the new name Rent registered with the Adventurer Guild. When Rent mentions the name Rent Vivi to Lorraine, she is surprised because she didn't expect Rent to use her family name. Rent shouldn't need to use it because the adventurers will surely suspect him. Rent replies that he doesn't want any bad rumors about a stranger going in and out of Lorraine's house. Lorraine's reputation must be maintained for her among the people of Malt. Hearing this, Lorraine can't say anything more and accepts Rent's decision. According to Lorraine, Rent doesn't actually need to worry about her reputation. Besides, Lorraine is an outsider from a distant area and doesn't care much about it. This actually makes Lorraine feel like a burden to Rent, who brings honor to the Vivi family name. Furthermore, Rent is the one who takes care of Lorraine's daily needs without her asking, starting from preparing food, doing laundry, cleaning the house, etc. Then Rent says that he has also been a burden to Lorraine all this time. The most important thing is that Rent can still have humanity thanks to Lorraine's hard work. Lorraine smiles briefly after hearing this, and she says that Rent can stay there forever. From now on, they are family and Rent can do whatever he wants there.
家族に遠慮はいらぬものだ。
ならばお言葉に甘えさせてもらう。
The next day, Rent goes to the Adventurer Guild to take the ranking up exam earlier. He doesn't need to study anything anymore because Rent still remembers the exam he took before. When the written exam on Adventurer's general knowledge begins, Rent realizes there is a girl he saw in the labyrinth before, Laura. Rent is sure that Reyes is also taking this Adventurer's general knowledge exam in oral form. After the written exam is over, Rent gets a perfect score and Sheila congratulates him. Then the next exam is to complete the quest from the Adventurer Guild. Sheila and the guild staff have determined the party for today's participants. Rent is in a party with Reyes and Laura. After the guild staff distributes the dungeon map, they explain that the participants must reach the marked location on the map. The participants will explore the new moon's reflection labyrinth, and whoever is the fastest will receive a worthy prize. The participants are free to do anything inside the labyrinth. There are no other rules except the destination location for this quest. Then Rent feels something different from this practical exam. When Rent underwent the practical exam for the first time, he was only asked to gather herbal plants, so Rent has to be careful. Then Rent, Reyes, and Laura are escorted by guild staff, and they finally arrive at the new moon's reflection labyrinth. The adventurers have entered the labyrinth as soon as possible so that they can reach the location. However, Rent's party looks relaxed and discusses their plans for later. After they know each other's abilities, Rent suggests buying the new moon's reflection labyrinth map from a merchant there. Initially, Reyes is a bit arrogant and doesn't follow Rent's advice, because he feels that Rent is just an ordinary adventurer. But Rent explains that the map provided by the guild staff is 15 years old, so the layout on that map is no longer suitable for the current condition of the labyrinth. Rent immediately buys the slightly expensive map, then instructs Reyes and Laura to check or compare the old map with the new one. After they examine the new map for a few seconds, they realize that the layout is very different and there are many new clues on the new map. Rent also says that the carriage that brought them there intentionally took Rent's party to the wrong place. This is all part of the Adventurer Guild's plan to make the practical exam even more difficult for the participants. Rent tells Reyes and Laura to always be cautious in any situation. This exam can also assess the eligibility of the adventurers who will rank up later. Then the merchant there tells Reyes and Laura to follow Rent's instructions. The merchant understands that Rent has extraordinary abilities. After hearing Rent and the merchant's explanations, Reyes and Laura are slightly surprised because they have just learned about the hidden intentions of the Adventurer Guild. After some time passes, Rent's party successfully collaborates to defeat some monsters there. Then Rent feels that there is something strange about this situation. Shortly after, Rent finds incense deliberately placed at the edge of the labyrinth corridor to lure monsters there. Reyes and Laura do not understand this, and Rent says they will understand later. The important thing is that this is just the beginning for them. In certain corridors, there is something dangerous waiting for Rent's party. Not monsters or traps, but humans will be their opponents. Rent will lure them first, while Reyes and Laura will follow Rent's orders. Then their plan begins. After Rent ties up those adventurers, Laura realizes that they are the participants in this practical exam. Reyes says that these participants deliberately did it to make Rent's party lose. In the practical exam rules, participants are free to do anything. Then Reyes decides to follow Rent's instructions because Rent can be relied on as their guide who is still a novice. When Rent's party continues their exploration, Rent says quickly release those people to the guild staff hiding in the darkness of the room. After hearing that, one of the guild staff emerges and immediately releases the participants tied up by Rent earlier. It turns out they are the guild staff who deliberately disguised themselves as participants from the beginning of the exam. They are surprised because Rent realized their disguise. One of the guild staff says he remembers someone who recognizes the guild staff of Malt City. Some time later, Rent's party finally arrives at the location marked by the Adventurer Guild. The location is the boss room that the participants must defeat. Rent tells Reyes and Laura that this is one of the boss rooms among several other boss rooms on the labyrinth's first floor. However, they must not underestimate the boss inside there and must remain vigilant. Rent also asks them, have you ever fought a boss in the labyrinth before? Reyes answers that he and Laura have never fought a boss. Moreover, this is not something that can be done by low-ranked adventurers like them. After hearing that, Rent understands that Reyes and Laura are worried about their ability to fight the boss there. Then Rent says that Reyes and Laura are allowed to withdraw if they have doubts in their hearts. Avoiding unnecessary battles is not shameful for an adventurer, said Rent. Shortly after, another party arrives there and they slightly mock and laugh at Rent's party. They didn't expect that a party consisting of Weak Boy and a strange masked man could arrive earlier than them. The adventurers also glance at and are attracted to Laura's beauty. They invite Laura to join them rather than being with the strange masked man and Weak Boy. Then Reyes gets angry at them for bothering Laura and Rent. When one of the adventurers raises his sword towards Reyes, Rent immediately raises his sword back towards that adventurer. You're wrong if you want to joke with us in a place like this, said Rent. Rent also allows them to enter the boss room first if they really want to. After hearing that, the adventurers apologize and they immediately enter the boss room. Of course, Reyes is slightly annoyed by Rent's decision like that. If they defeat the boss first, Rent's party will definitely lose. Laura looks very calm after hearing Rent's decision. She understands Rent's intention that Rent just wants to show how difficult the boss there is. Not only that, but Rent also wants to show something to them. Some time passes, and the adventurers' party cannot defeat the boss there. They are immediately helped by the guild staff who are on guard inside. The adventurers will be treated because their injuries are quite severe. Rent explains that it is what he wants to show. The Adventurer Guild cares about the safety of the participants, so Reyes and Laura don't need to worry too much. After seeing and hearing Rent's intention, Reyes becomes enthusiastic again and he will not run from this exam. If he doesn't finish it, he is sure he won't have another chance. Even Reyes might not be able to have the identity of a real adventurer. Reyes also wants Laura to stay with him forever.
付き合ってくれるかローラ
On the other hand, the guildmaster calls Sheila to discuss about Rent Vivi. Someone suspects that Rent Vivi is the culprit. The guildmaster has heard about the strange incident and asks Sheila to keep an eye on Rent Vivi. Rent Vivi's background is very unclear, but he has quite impressive abilities. If Sheila finds anything about Rent Vivi, she must report it to the guildmaster.